It was a dark and stormy night, and I was shaken by my bed by a thunderous lightning strike. As I walked to the family room and looked out the window, I saw a giant bolt of lightning strike my neighbor's house, and it began to violently burn. I stood frozen for a moment, gathering my thoughts until I remembered. They had voted for the other guy. They were the enemy. They were the boogeyman. I went back to bed. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. This is the Boogeyman Report, your official site for news from the left-wing liberal radical Democrats, where each week we're going to talk about truth, justice, and the American way. Let's get started, shall we? The truth. The Nobel Prize for Peace was awarded last week to Venezuelan political activist Maria Corina Machado for her tireless work in promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela and for her struggle to achieve a just and peaceful transition from dictatorship to democracy. On the other hand, Donald Trump, the current president of the United States, has spent most of 2025 campaigning for and trying to persuade the entire world that it was he who deserved the Nobel Prize for Peace, as he attempts to imprison his political opponents, uses the military in the middle of the night for raids against his own citizens, and his numerous calls to limit, prohibit, and ban any speech that says he's anything other than the second coming of the Messiah. Donald, I think the world just gave you a big hell to the no, dude, so suck it up, buttercup. And of course, the Maga world is in complete meltdown that the Anointed One was overlooked because of, and I quote here, politics over peace. It's only given to liberals. It was affirmative action. And oh my God, she's Latino. Seriously, do you members of MAGA ever stop to hear yourselves? You know, I do have some good news from the members of MAGA who are my listeners. It's on the immigration front. All those jobs you said you couldn't get because an immigrant was taking it, well, I just found a treasure trove of employment opportunities for you. And your financial worries are finally over. There are 3.3 million former immigrant-filled jobs for you. California needs fruit pickers. Kentucky needs stall cleaners. Who doesn't want to work Kentucky Derby? Texas needs housekeepers and hotel workers. And the entire wheat and corn belt is waiting with open arms for your backs and 18-hour days. Eureka! The days of mega unemployment are gone. All hail the new field workers. Now you can buy that gold toilet just like the Don has. And as a bonus for MAGA, all the news of immigrants and crime are gone from the nightly news. Thank God that now it's only Americans that are committing rapes, murders, and child abuse in every city and every neighborhood, right? Another win for MAGA. And that's the truth. Justice. The Boogeyman's Hero of Justice segment starts this week by recognizing the first recipient of the Boogie Justice Award, Mr. James Comey, the former head of the FBI, who was and is a political enemy of Donald John Trump just because he was doing his job. He was indicted this week by the MAGA Justice Department. Look, we all know about Russia. We all know they were influencing the 2020 election and aiding Elon Musk in rigging the 2024 elections. We know they wanted Trump to win for his weak-mindedness and his ability to be used as a breathing puppet for Vladimir Putin. When Comey refused to swear allegiance to the Khandan during his first attempt to usurp democracy and to hide the fact that Russian collusion was in effect, an enemy was made. But this week's hero of justice, James Comey, responded to that indictment quite eloquently with a simple, "Bring it on, dudes." We can assume that Trump is already working on his greatest hit speech. The jury was all liberal. The judge was crooked. It was a cesspool court. It'll be interesting when this complete piece of crap is tossed back as the egg on the face of the Justice Department. That's justice. Well done, James Comey. The American way. You know, tonight I want to talk to you about the American way of being an American. Not a conservative American, not a liberal American, just a plain old American. Now, I realize it's going to be foreign to some of you, but if you'll bear with me, you'll find it's pretty easy to get the hang of. Let's talk about the American way of treating each other. Now, we've always been a country of heated discourse on many subjects, religion, football, and beyond. All this before a sitting president of the United States started telling us we hate each other for our color, our religion, our country of origin, or who we voted for. We got along pretty well before he started that crap. We didn't ask what party you voted for to help rebuild your home destroyed in the tornado. We didn't ask if your city was Democratic or Republican leaning before providing you with disaster aid. And we certainly did not send in armed American soldiers into a civilian population without cause, only to change a negative news cycle about your escapades with your old friend Epstein. Is this the American way you all voted for? We the people share much good fortune in common that we have taken for granted and are losing each and every waking moment. Freedom to speak our mind, freedom to vote your ballots, freedom to be black, Hispanic, Muslim, or Slovenian like the current Mrs. Trump, and to enjoy the perks and glory of a true democracy. But I warn you now, and as sternly as possible, Donald John Trump does not share your passion for democracy. His goal is to shred your rights, make you subservient to the state, control what you hear, what you teach, what you speak. Does this sound familiar? Like what the Taliban did to their people? Is this the American way you wish to live in? The Trump Taliban? Donald Trump's dream is strongman parades like Putin, which he tried and failed at because this country says no king. He wants absolute power like Xi, and he wants the ability to shoot his enemy with a cannon like Kim Jong-un. Is this the America you dreamed of? Is this really the American way of life you voted for? A Stalinist, Hitler-esque state of hate and fear and a constant stream of lies and so-called alternate truths, all led by one conspiracy after another. It's the Latinos, it's the radical Democrats, it's the blacks, it's the people in Boston. They're using Jewish lasers on us. Hitler had the Jews. Trump has us all as enemies. Folks, next week when you tune in again for the next segment of the Boogeyman Report, I want you to find a place, a quiet room, to just sit and think. Think about those 4th of Julys when you were a kid, down at the park with your family, eating chicken, having an ice cream, playing catch with the neighbors, or hiding in mom's arms during the fireworks. It didn't matter that the family next to you were Democrat or Republican or anything else. We, you, me, they were all there to celebrate the one thing we all have and cherish in common: our country, our freedoms, our liberties, and our lives. All the things that we, the people of these United States, have worked hard to build in order to form a more perfect union. It is why we revolted and left a tyrannical king in 1776 to have those freedoms. Are you, an American, now ready to abandon all of that for a man who would be king in 2025 and beyond? To give it all up once again, only to be subjugated as nothing more than a disposable labor pool for the wealthy new American oligarchs and Donald John Trump? May I suggest we are not. And as I say goodbye, I want to first thank you for taking the time to stop by and see what gives. It's important that we, the people, begin to shut down and drown out the political noise so full of hatred and false divisions and lies, and start listening to the people that mean the most to us in our lives, each other. I want to help that happen with truth, justice, and the American way. And I promise you this: I will never run away when your house is on fire, even if we don't agree. That is the American way. And until next week, peace out from just another left-wing liberal radical Democrat. And don't forget to subscribe and tell 2 friends so you never miss an episode of The Boogeyman Report.